My name is Drew from Moshi, Tanzania. That's located on the eastern coast of Africa. If you're not familiar with our geography out here. I was born and raised there, grew up spending close to 13 years or so, which is most of my lifetime so far. I've been there for roughly about a year or something like that, but my whole point being that, you know what, I love these animals a whole lot. I've grown up with them, know a lot of information about them, information I'll share with you over the next couple of weeks, covering about 2,080 square kilometers of land, or about 800 square miles, however you want to put it. We're getting started here in Central Africa, somewhere in the dense vegetation of the Congo region. The area itself is known as a literally forest. The key word is forest. The animals like to blend in and camouflage themselves in naturally to help protect them from any predators. We're heading eastward towards East Africa, specifically Kenya and Tanzania. We'll spend the rest of our time out there on Ethiopia, some there as well. But on the right-hand side, to start us off, you got a couple of different species. With the stripes there are the okapi, O-K-A-P-I. But it has nothing to do with zebras whatsoever, despite having those stripes. Actually, the stripes are only there to help it camouflage itself. It's related to the giraffe, and you can tell that because of its facial features, like the shape of its skull. Its tongue is about 8 inches, a foot and a half. Very shy though, hence were not even discovered until 1901 in the Western world. The yellow-backed duiker over there, the smallest antelope, you know the yellow comes from the spot, but the duiker in Afrikaans means dive. That's what it literally tends to do. When it's frightened, it will run, dive, and make a loud whistling noise. Trust me, you don't want to hear that noise. It gets very loud. One of the more rarer species you can encounter in a forest like this one is a black rhino. And hopefully we get a sighting of one, because it is truly an amazing sight if we actually see one, but it's so rare at the same time. Between 1970 and 1984, a 14-year span, their population dropped from 65,000 to 4,000. Today, less than 5,000 black rhinos remain, with an average of 2 to 3 being poached per day. A point of near extinction for these truly magnificent creatures. I don't see any yet, but keep your hopes open up. Who knows? Never know. Could be around here somewhere. They have a narrow, small, pointed mouth, meant to eat things a little bit higher up from the ground. They're really more grayish in color than black, because the mother all around gives them their different shape. Now here on the right, looks like they got some greater kudos. These are females. They don't have any horns, and that's how I know. The second tallest antelope is getting about 5 feet at the shoulder. You're sitting on the side, your head is resting on the edge. That's roughly 6 feet from the ground up, so take away a foot, it gives you 5 feet. Black rhino way back there.
There he is.
Moving around.
There's this boy. Yeah.
3,000 pounds, but it can charge at 35 miles an hour. Very thick skin as well. Let's see. Gonna continue further eastward through more denseness, and not too far from here up ahead is a river known as Safi River. Now the parts of the river we're gonna pass by have been known to be inhabited by Kiboko. That's right, it's a Swahili word, so I don't expect you to know it. But we're gonna learn some Swahili in our way, because, well, we can. And of course, we're gonna learn some group names, because not everything is called a herd. So a group of hippos, as you want to call them in English, is known as a bloat of hippos, or bloat of Kiboko, however you want to word it. Keep an eye open for them in these waters. There are 2 of them over there on the right. Should be some more up ahead we can maybe make a stop for. May not seem like it. They're about 11 feet in length, 5,500 pounds in weight, and about 5.5 feet in height. There they are. There's a bloat of them right over there.
A
Float.
See them in the water? Yeah.
Take a deep breath, inhale through your nose. The wonderful smell, that's defecation. That's how they mark their territory. On the island itself are the pink-backed pelicans. Around their pink-backs right now, it is not mating season. The smallest of the 7 pelican species. Now hippos, they're very nocturnal creatures, also very territorial creatures, so you don't want to mess with them in their territory, which usually extends 2 to 3 miles off the coast, again, marked by defecation. But if they start roaring and you're in their territory, that means they're trying to defend their territory. So you want to just get out, because it's not a good idea to be in the same area as hippos. Alright, as we make our around the bend, it looks like we might be crossing the river here, which is okay, we cross rivers all the time. But the only problem I see is that the board over here for the bridge says 4 tons. We weigh 6 tons, and the bridge doesn't look like it's in pretty good shape. And also there are some Nile crocodiles coming up on the lower left-hand side, so I don't know. We should be okay though, we can only go forward.
Oh, look.
Look at that. They're 18 to 20 feet in length, which is as tall as a giraffe is. They run about 10 miles per hour, have a powerful crushing power of about 2,000 pounds per square inch, powerful to crush or break any bones in a zebra, a wildebeest in just a matter of seconds. They open and close their mouth not because they're hungry, but rather they're regulating their body temperature. They don't have any sweat glands. And this may come as a surprise to you, but guess what? 2 days have gone by, and we're making our way finally into East Africa. It's a completely different ecosystem up ahead, a vast open ecosystem that stretches hundreds, if not thousands of miles across East Africa, specifically the nations of Tanzania, my home country, and Kenya, serving as a super highway to millions of migrating animals across this part of the continent. Home to lions, elephants, cheetahs, zebras, giraffes, mandrill monkeys, white-bearded wildebeests, you name it, baby sable antelopes, baby rhinos, who knows, we might see anything. Anything is possible around here, my friends. But to support this different wildlife, you need different plant life. Look around you. Different leaves, different shapes, different branches. This tree with no leaves looks like it's been planted upside down almost. It's not upside down. It's not as a baobab tree. Long grass, short grass, different flowers. Everything is different around here, my friends. Now, whether we see all these different animals or not, you'll definitely see this different plant life here in the Serengeti Plains, as it's known as. The Serengeti Plains, whatever terminology you want to use to describe it, it is truly magnificent. And this right here, this is the wild Africa that we're working so very hard to preserve and protect. And if you want to live out here, it's not free. It comes with a responsibility. And that is to shape and maintain this whole landscape. Here in the Serengeti, nothing goes to waste, and for that reason alone, it's a perfect example of the great circle of life. Think of the elephants as the bulldozers. They do a pretty good job of coming through here, bulldozing down trees and termite mounds, which puts fresh soil back into rotation. The giraffes, thanks to their height, can reach up and eat the leaves, which allows for the sunlight to come through, allowing for the grass and smaller plants to grow. Various kinds of antelopes, zebras, and woolly cattle will all graze on this grass, making room for additional grass to come around. And then you have the warthogs, who are like the edge trimmers. But this way, everyone has enough food, a balanced living ecosystem, and nothing as simple as a termite mound goes to waste. I mean, anything smaller like this termite mound, or the big one coming up over there, used for various purposes by various animals, including insects and the big old elephant and everything in between. So various purposes to everything around here, my friends. Nothing goes to waste, and that's part of that circle of life that we need to strive to become a part of. But that'll make more sense when I tell you about them a little bit later on. We spotted some wildebeest coming up soon, and as we're coming downhill, so we should be seeing them shortly. The termite mount's an average height is roughly 8 feet, by the way, like the one coming up on the right. Get up to heights of 30 feet. The one on the left looks like it's about 13 or 14, so double that almost. But look at that, there's a giraffe sighting. Also coming up here on the left in just a little bit. That looks like a Maasai giraffe. Maasai are the more commonly visible one here in East Africa. Have more irregular jagged patterns. There's actually a tower of them up there. Let me pull around a little bit further up. I'm going to make a stop on the other side. You should be able to get a chance to see them a little bit better. Yeah, we'll love to make a stop for them just around the bend here. Now, Maasai giraffes, again, more irregular jagged patterns. They're found in Tanzania and southern parts of Kenya. They're not zebras, buddy. They are wildebeest. Wildebeest, buddy.
Yeah, over there.
But let's make this stop first with the giraffes.
Look at that beautiful giraffe.
Now, a group of giraffes is called a tower of giraffes. And of course, their Swahili name is twiga. Think of twigs, remove the S at the A. Always eating or chewing roughly 20 hours or so of the day, sleeping very little in very short intervals at a time. Now on the left, I know there are some animals on the right, but on the left you got an Ankoli cattle with about 6 feet long horns. Although very light, they have a honeycomb structure inside, which helps them keep cool or stay cool. It kind of acts as a personal air conditioning unit almost for them, if you want to think of it that way. I like to call them the Watusi cattle. The tribe that domesticated them first here in East Africa were known as the Watusi tribe. Plus it sounds way more fun to say Watusi over Ankoli any day, but that's just me. The wildebeest have one of the largest migrations that takes place across these grasslands, but only 15 minutes to learn how to walk when they're born, otherwise their parents will leave them behind. Over there you got the sable antelopes, the baby ones included. The darker ones could be the more dominant ones, could be male or female. The older they are, the more darker they are. There are the reserve's official symbol emblem. This one down here is not a baby, it's a fully grown size for a springbok with the horns and the white bottom. When the springboks are frightened, they'll actually start running and springing up in the air up to 11 feet, which is as high as the canopy on this truck. Got some baobab trees in the distance, estimated to be about 1,000 years old, can get up to 2,000 years, and they go 9 months out of the air leafless, making them look like they are upside down. But the reason I bring up those trees is because, well, Tembo usually like to hang around over there. Actually, I'm sensing Tembo presence not too far from here. Probably less than 3 hours from the looks of these trees up ahead. Oh, there's actually one already spot over there. Tembo is my favorite animal. It's Swahili for elephants. As you keep an eye open for elephants as we come around. And I spotted one, so he'll be coming up here shortly, right over there.
There he is. Elephants, buddy.
He's so
And mandrill monkeys here on the left, the largest monkeys and the most colorful of them all. There's a troop of them over here. Troop is a group name. This area used to be a camping ground until recently when a troop of mandrill monkeys invaded the area. Now it's called Monkey Point. There you go. He's stopping away so you can see him on both sides, both different animals. Judging from the fact that this elephant is about 14 feet and looks like it's 14,000 pounds and it by itself, I'm thinking it's a male. Elephants of what you call a matriarchal society, meaning the female, the matriarch, is the head of the herd. And therefore, between the ages of 13 to 15, the males are actually kicked out of the herd by the older females. And they go out on their own, more isolated and alone, and let the female and the children who are more social and like to be in groups. I don't know why you're laughing, because females have a pregnancy lasting 22 months long. Oh, what about less than 2 years?
That's terrible.
Yeah, but the number of childhood years is the same as ours, 13 to 15, and their skin does get burnt just as easy as ours. Their trunks have over 100,000 different muscles, and I'm used for all kinds of various purposes, including drinking water, eating food like I was doing back there. If there's dirt or mud on their backs, that acts as a sunscreen for them. Of course, they can run 25 miles an hour, eat about 1,000 pounds of food per day, 300 being the minimum requirement to maintain their weight, and talk to each other at a level we as humans cannot hear. It's known as infrasound. It's between 5 and 20 hertz and can be heard up to 20 miles away. And well, let's see, what else about the elephants? Oh yeah, here in Africa, both males and females have tusks. In Asia, only the males have them, the females don't. Also, the ears are much larger here in Africa than they would be over in Asia. They love to be near watering sources, just like you saw that one. So if you see any more watering sources, expect elephants. Maybe, I don't know, you never know, it could be a hit or miss always with them. Oh no, whoa, what up, whoa, okay, whoa, oh boy, alright, I put up a Tana. No worries. Slow and steady. Looks like the elephants I'm ready to bring pretty recently, but that's okay. I put up the time. Let's just get out of here. I spot a river here on the left, so maybe we'll get lucky and see more elephants. I don't know. I see some test marks and some footprints, but maybe not. We never know. It's always a hit or a miss, as I said, with the elephants. Now, whether we see them or not, you know, you should note the following, because I really don't care if you remember what I told you about the elephants earlier or not, but the following is very important about them. An average of 96 elephants are poached or slaughtered per day, mainly for the ivory found in their tusks, making us humans the only enemies these gigantic creatures have. There is also a constant battle between us humans and them for their habitat. You see, their habitat is located mainly over coltan mines, and coltan is a mineral used to make electronic devices such as cell phones and whatnot. So even recycling cell phones can help protect these creatures. How does it help? When you recycle electronic devices, that means the mines are not mined. And that means the elephants don't lose their habitat, and that means they will not go raiding farmlands in search for food. And that means the crops are not ruined, the farmers don't lose their income, and in return they have no reason to hurt the elephants. So you see, a simple act like recycling truly does have a massive impact. Sit back, relax, take a deep breath, enjoy the music, beautiful Serengeti, and hopefully we'll see something around here. If not, it's still a pretty nice view, especially around here this time of the day. Now, the Harambe weather report that came out this morning indicated that might be some possible showers later on in this evening, afternoon. If you still find yourself in town and you want to come back and see us, please do, because the cute little baby elephants that usually let you hang around here will be jumping on their mother in this watering hole. I don't know why they love to do that when it rains, but they do. We got a flamboyance. You can add there to your group's name list. The flamboyance is a group name for flamingos. These are not just any flamingos though, these are the greater flamingos, the largest flamingos there are, and the light is shaded pink as well. They're born white grayish in color, but over time, as they eat the shrimp, mainly the keratin found in the shrimp gives them this pinkish color. And here's my favorite view of the entire reserve. You can call it whatever you want. I call it a postcard moment, especially when the elephants are visible in the background. We're heading towards the eastern side of the Serengeti now, a little bit more denser vegetation up here, home to Kifaru. Kifaru is a Swahili word for rhinos, but not just any rhinos, white rhinos, and a crush of them might be prisons. A crush is just a group name for them. Also known to be spotted around here are pundamilia, which means zebras in English, and of course cheetahs could also be possibly visible around here, so keep an eye open for those as well. See a lot of footprints, small and big ones, so it could be both around here. Now, white rhinos once upon a time were the greatest success story in all of Africa, but today are getting less and less in numbers, owing to poaching for their horns. And if we don't act now, they will cease to exist for future generations to come, which would be so very sad. So we should do absolutely everything in our power to make sure that does not happen. They have a wider mouth meant for grazing grass, and that's how they get their name from the Afrikaans word white. It sounds like white. That's what the English settlers confused it for the color. White means wider, a wider mouth meant for grazing grass, and that's what they are. They're black rhinos and white rhinos are essentially the same color, gray, just the mud they roll around in. But the white rhinos are much heavier. They get about 5,000 pounds and also charge at 35 miles an hour. Here on the left, you got a cheetah. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammals. They can travel up to 60 miles per hour. They can only go that speed for maybe a few hundred yards at a time. Pretty large cats, get about 3 feet tall, but they do not roar. They are about the only cats that do hunt by eyesight and not by the sense of smell. There are actually 4 because there are 2 more coming up overhead. They're daytime hunters. They do their hunting during the daytime, and usually by themselves or in very small groups, maybe 2-3 members. The lions are opposite. Lions do their hunting at nighttime in massive groups or prides, as they're known as, 15 to 20 members. The lioness being the one that generally does the hunting. The male does like to be up on the rock, the cubs since are known as the protectors. So again, cheetahs and lions are quite opposite. 18 to 20 hours of the day, you'll find lions just relaxing, resting, sometimes moving around, just stretching and making sure everything's okay in the area, but 9 out of 10 times, you'll see them relaxing and resting. Just like that one is doing up there in the rocks.
Oh. Right on top of the rock.
All the way to the top of the rock. You see him?
See it?
He's sitting on the rock. You see him? Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
Isn't that cool,
That's
buddy?
the king of
He's
the
a
jungle.
big boy, huh?
Awesomeness.
I don't know why, but every time I turn around to the other side, his face turns this way, so maybe we'll get lucky to actually catch him in that, with his face that way, you never know. I can get one brave volunteer to raise up their hand. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, let's do the second row, buddy, with the blue cap. Translate the word lion into Swahili. Lion to Swahili. Translate. It's your favorite lion's name. Starts with the S. Your dad probably saw it first time 21 years ago. Simba, yeah, good job. That's right. Can you believe that? It's been 21 years. Hard to believe, right? Let's see. I think there's a female sleeping here. Maybe not. I thought I saw something, but maybe not. Okay, now you kind of see that male up there. The sun may be getting in your way, but it's okay.
He is turning his head.
Yeah, he was turning his head. That's funny.
He's got a serious face, huh?
Yeah. It's not gonna.
Say farewell to Simba, make her around the bend, see what else is up ahead. A lot of burrows. Look at that, warthogs. Largest burrowing mammals. Not only do they make their own burrows, they do steal them as well. If they see something they'll fit in, they'll take it as their own, claim it as their own, call it their own home. Sorry to break your hearts, but Pumbaa only means crazy or foolish. It makes sense. Ostrich eggs up ahead, 3 to 4 pounds each, gestation period 45 days. I know the zebras are there, but look at these antelopes here, known as bantabaks. They got to a point where there were 17, that's right, 17 of them left total in the wildlife. They're growing slowly in numbers today. They're only found in reserves or refugees nowadays. They're extinct in the wild, not to be found in the wild. And that's right, Pundamilia or zebras. Pretty unique stripes, don't have the same, just like other fingerprints. Their back legs are very powerful, able to crush or break any jawbones of an attacking lion. Now the most commonly debated question is, are they black with white or white with black? What do you think?
White.
White with black, why? Get just a guess. What about black with white? Anyone? Nose, yeah, that's right. They're black with white. The nose gives it away. I've been telling you about these animals quite a lot here and there. I mean, I told you in the beginning I grew up with them 13 years and counting. And I've been telling you about conservation here and there by telling you about numbers because that's a subject I see that it's sometimes being overlooked. But if you really think of it, conservation is not just a business for a few people. It is a matter that concerns all of us. It is up to us to manage our finances, just as up to us to make sure that our wildlife doesn't go extinct. It is up to us to preserve our lakes and our streams. These all will become useful for generations to come. None other than Walt Disney himself said that once, and that's the entire purpose of this entire reserve, especially this area we're coming to, known as Bagati Glen. Those addicts over there, they're a perfect example. Less than 300 remain in the wild, to less than 1,000 of them in protected reserves like this one, making them nearly extinct. They go almost their entire life without drinking a single drop of water. They get that moisture from the food that they eat. Very cool horns, although I don't know why they like to wiggle their tails a whole lot. It's kind of fun. But notice how they're standing or sitting in a way they can keep an eye open on all sides if any predators were to approach them. If you were here just about a month ago, you might have seen the skin a little bit darker, but as summer approaches, it's going to get brighter and brighter up to snow white bright to reflect off the sun. And then back to the tannish as winter approaches. The birds here on the right hand side, you got the yellow-billed storks. They have no threat against them, just like to hang around here. We'll eat anything and everything they can find, including other smaller birds. Now between the Swahili, the group names, the fun facts, my crazy driving, if I were in your shoes, I probably wouldn't remember half the things I said. But that's okay. My hope is that what you have witnessed over the course of the time we have spent together, that you will treasure in your hearts forever. Many of these animals, including addax, mountabox, rhinos, even elephants, are somewhere in the categories of vulnerable, nearly extinct, threatened, or even critically endangered. And every little bit that we do, whether it is to educate ourselves in conservation, educate someone else in conservation, or even support a local wildlife conservation organization, will prevent these animals from just being pictures down the line for your children and their children to come after that point. Simply put, for centuries now, these creatures have lived in harmony and peace in a giant circle of life. It's about time we take our place by redefining our role in the circle of life, becoming that conservation hero, because if we don't redevelop that balance between us and them, these animals will not exist. And just imagine a world without the animals we just encountered. What different of a planet it would be. Go out there and make that difference. I've been calling you my friends this whole time. The Swahili word for that is Rafiki. And I'm not saying about to Rafiki. I think it's far too formal and far too sad. So instead, I like to use another Swahili word, and that's Kwaheri, which means to go well. So Kwaheri to everyone. And Asante sana, that means thank you, or as Rafiki puts it, Asante sana, squash banana. I'm sure you can figure out the rest. Once again, my name is Drew from Moshi, Tanzania. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on board. Wishing you all a magical, beautiful Hakuna Matata here in Africa, or wherever your travels may take you. Be safe, have fun, have no hurries and no worries out here. No more than...